and they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the second edition of the Demon Nation Download presented by the Moore County Journal. We're here today with Coach Chad Dunnam, Coach Aaron Dunnam, and defensive linebacker Derek Ditto. Welcome guys, how are you?
Doing good.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome, glad to be here, glad y'all are here. Kind of want to go back to last week's game a little bit against the Bulldogs. The end of that game was, the entire game was crazy. The end of it was even crazier. The emotion at the end of that game, people jumping up and down and tears being shed. And I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Man, it was crazy.
It was. I mean, it was a intense ball game. I mean, two closely matched teams going at it all night long. So just trading punches. I mean, that's basically what we had going on. Very, very emotional, like you said. I mean, the emotions were high on both sides. I mean, there was a couple of penalties in there, high on emotions, but I felt like our kids did a good job of managing their emotions. And the main thing they probably did as far as managing their emotions throughout the game is I felt like we never panicked. And we never panicked. There were situations where we could, no team led by more than a touchdown the entire ball game. So, I mean, it was back and forth, closely matched the entire time, and we felt like we had our opportunities to win the game right there at the end and didn't take advantage of those opportunities. But in the end, we were able to get a stop defensively and get our offense the ball back and go down there and, we end up missing a field goal right there at the end to not put it away, and then we were able to get another stop to in regulation, and as time expired, we're able to go in there and go into overtime, which we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. That's a whole nother story. I mean, it's quite comical what happened to us right there in overtime. But to wrap the ball game up, we were able to go out and score, put a great deal of pressure on their offense to go out and score, and they weren't able to do it. They ran the ball first down. We had a huge stop on first down, and then we kind of made them get out of character and throw the football 3 times in a row, of which we defended really, really well. And you talk about exciting ending. I'm telling you, it was exciting. I mean, there was a ton of emotion spilled in that thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there was a time in there where I started having chest pains. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And then, when the game was over, I literally was hyperventilating, because I sprinted across the field, number one, and was celebrating with the kid who knocked the ball away. Number two, just the emotions were pouring out, looking at the kids, looking at the coaches, and the excitement they had. I mean, it's what it's all about. It's what it's all about.
Right. Coach Aaron, on that last play right there in overtime, the defense made a great stand right there. You held Plainview. Like you said, they had the one running play and they had to go to passing after that. The beginning of the game, Plainview they were able to obtain more yards than they were kind of towards the end. Talk to us about the defense. What adjustments did you make? How were you able to stop them kind of towards the end of the game and then into overtime?
Initially they came out playing just like we thought we would. I wouldn't sit here and say that we anticipated, giving up that many yards at first. But they do, they have a really good football team as well, have a really good tailback, and run a system, the wing T there that, a grinded out type offense. We anticipated, that it would be a game of where they would, they put a few drives alive. It'd be 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 4 yards here. Before they'll put together a first down and then continue drives. And so so we went into the ball game anticipating that and knowing that possibly could happen. We told our kids to just never give up, continue to keep grinding, and I think we did that. And we did have to make some adjustments. They came out. They were probably about in the second quarter. Got in an offensive formation that we hadn't seen them in, that they hadn't been in any previous of their 4 ball games or 5 ball games that they haven't been in. So it took us a little bit of time to adjust, and I attribute that to our kids. I mean, I'm telling you, 2 years ago we would not have adjusted. We wouldn't have been able to get things together. We wouldn't have, just because our football IQ at that point wasn't really good. And I've talked about that all year long defensively and with our kids right here, and all tribute to our kids. Their football IQ has improved greatly over the last 3 years, and some things that we haven't maybe seen or that we haven't talked about. It might have taken us the entire game to fix that. Last year, 2 years, 3 years ago, and it takes us a couple series and we got it down. We adjusted in the back end. They were always in what we call a far set, with their tailback over to the weak side. They actually flipped him over to the strong side, and got into the rest of the formation was what we had seen, but the backfield, with our kids really being zeroed in and cued into the backfield.
Totally changed our keys.
Everything we do.
Totally changed our keys.
And which, I'll talk about that as well. We are a very, very attention to detail coaching staff. We're a very, very attention to detail defense. And we prepare our kids all week long and talk in practice. We are huge with our keys and attention to detail. And, so that threw us for a spin there for a minute. Moving that back over, some people might not say, if that does much, that does a lot to us, So it took us a few series to get that changed, and the kids really did adjust really well. And I'll be honest with you, I think Plainview, in their wing T style offense, pulled out all tricks, man. I think they pulled it all out. At one point, they were sending their fullback on a 30 to 40 yard drag down the field, which we had never seen. They sent fullback to the flats 5-6 yards. They were dragging him, 30, possibly even
vertical,
30 or 40 yards down the field on a, vertical, on a drag route, which changes everything we do, so.
This kid assigned to do this kid assigned to do this responsibility. They were switching those responsibilities up, so we were actually leaving a kid or two uncovered.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing that adding on what Coach Dunnam said as far as adjustments, I'll be honest with you, there were minor adjustments, but there wasn't major adjustments made. The best thing I thought we did is not panic. We weren't having to adjust our scheme. We weren't doing things the way we had practiced all week long, fitting it like we were supposed to. And the main thing we did was not panic and don't give up on the game plan. We believed in our game plan. We trusted in our game plan. We just had to do a better job of getting our kids in the groove of the ball game and not panicking. That was the whole thing. It's hard to, like, you're asking your kids, what are they doing? And during that whole time, you got, kids that are big and strong and physical hitting them right in the mouth, and they're having to adjust and think on that. It really wasn't a huge adjust. We made one minor adjustment on that formation, one minor adjustment with a certain route they were running. Outside of that,
Just
it was
technique.
Constantly trying to correct a technique and trust in the game plan, because I'll be honest with you, I very seldom do we ever really go into a game and leave any stones unturned. We cover what they do, and we knew what they were doing. There's only 2 to 3 little tricks. Now they with that offense, it's a wrinkle or two here or there that just totally messes us up because we're very specific. Like Coach said, we're specific, and we don't just kind of generalize and get things general as far as our run fits and our coverages. We try to really lock in and specify exactly how we want to defend it. So we just believed in what we were doing and got better at what we were doing as the night went on. Right. I truly believe that.
Right. All right, Coach Aaron, you've kind of talked about the team's football IQ, kind of their knowledge and their attitude. Early in the game we had a touchdown that was overturned, and then kind of late in the game that interception down at the Plainview 10 that was overturned. Those are big blows. That interception, close game towards the end. That's a huge play, but being overturned, it can go huge to the negative side. I think that's something that, obviously, the coaching aspect of this, where you've taught the players, that you can't let one play like that ruin a game. So that was outstanding of the coaching staff and of the team to not drop from that play and to come back.
Yes, sir.
So, Derek, there's probably a lot of people that have the question, same question I do. We watch you every Friday night on offense, on defense. You're on the field nearly every play of the game. And the second game, I guess, I really started watching and thinking, man, when's he going to wear down? 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you got to be dragging out there, and you're not. How are you keeping up 100% through the game?
Well, it goes back to freshman year. before we had spring football practice, we were running track, and Coach Dunnam told me if I wanted to play linebacker for him, I had to run the 400, because every Mike linebacker runs the 400. So every year in high school we've done.
We might have lied to him on that.
Yeah,
We might have.
they've had me running track, and we've been doing after, and the whole program is getting in after. No matter what sport we're in, we always make sure we get our off-season workouts in and extra lifting and conditioning in. And even now during football season, we're on defense. We're having double whistle, where when the play's over, everyone on the team runs to the ball, no matter where it is on the field. So we're all getting in conditioning, and we'll go lift after practice, and in the middle of football season, go get some extra weightlifting in, stay strong, keep injuries from happening, so we can keep going.
Awesome. You know, I think that it is showing on the football field, you know, between the record, the Demons record, you know, the undefeated right now, and just the style and type of football that you guys are playing. You guys are physical, and you know, Plainview is a lot bigger than us. Their kids were
Yeah,
bigger.
they had big kids. I mean, they were monstrous. I mean, I'll be honest. After the ball game, after you know the smoke had settled and stuff like that, and we're having to go shake hands and tell Plainview good job. I'm walking down there and shaking hands, and the thought crossed my mind with a couple of times. Some of those kids walking by was, how'd we win this thing? I mean, it was. I'm telling you, it was. But it's a credit to our kids. I'm telling you, they just the guys play hard. They don't size people up. They don't worry about it. And you know, we talk to our kids a lot about, you know, I can't make you 6'3", 240. I can't do that. We can't control those things, but we can make, you know, if you're 5'8", 150 pounds, we can make you a really strong 5'8", 150 pounds. I mean, and so they believe in themselves. They really do believe in. They don't really size people up. They believe in themselves.
Awesome. So, yeah, I'm not real familiar with Caprock and their lineup. I'm not sure the size of their kids, and you know, we proved this last Friday night that size doesn't really matter all the time. You know, talking about Caprock, what are you guys expecting from Caprock? And you know, adversity, what can we see? What can we expect to see from the Demons this Friday?
I think, you know, first, what are we expecting from Caprock? We're expecting a very confident team. I think they're confident in what they do. I mean, they're going to come over with a lot of excitement, a lot more hooting and hollering and things like that than our kids do. I mean, they do a lot of chanting, and they get excited about what they're doing. And, you know, I think you'll see a well-coached football team. I think we'll see a big offensive line that I don't think I don't think they move as well as our defensive front. So, but they're a big group. You'll see a quarterback that's very poised, very, very knowledgeable at running their offense, runs it really well. He's very accurate with his throws. Doesn't get sacked very often, so he's elusive. I wouldn't say he's overly fast or anything like that, but he will be one of the most accurate passers we've seen this year. Defensively, kind of an undersized group of kids on the defensive side of the ball, but they're playing better defense than they have in years. I mean, they're playing pretty good on defense, and they're confident in what they're doing. I mean, flying the football, got a really good middle linebacker, but you'll see a good group of guys, and as far as I'm concerned, they'll be one of our best opponents we've played this year.
All right, Coach Aaron, Derek, you know, talking about defensively for this game against Caprock, Coach Aaron, what are you preparing, or kind of what are you expecting to see? And Derek is kind of the leader of the defense, the signal man. Kind of what are you expecting? What are your thoughts?
You know, defensively, I mean, just like Coach Dunnam just talked about, they are, you know, they do what they do really well. You know, they have a lot of vertical passing game. You know, where the quarterback sets back and, you know, and reads the defenses and throws the ball down the field. So we'll have our hands full, you know, on the back end, you know, trying to get everything covered up that they do, you know, with our secondary and our coverage. I think our backers are going to be much more involved in the passing game, you know, than we have been. I feel pretty confident all year long, and have been, you know, that we stop the run pretty well. But we'll be challenged again, just because they throw the football quite a bit. They've got a tailback, you know, that's I think for the first 3 ball games rushed for 200 plus in each ball game, you know. So he's very good as well. So I do think that we do need to move the quarterback a little bit. I think if he sits back there, without anybody moving him out of the pocket, or he sits back there, pretty poised and flat-footed, that he's very dangerous. So I think we've got to get whatever it is, whether it's pressure or whether it's our three-man front or whatever it may be. I do think we've got to get him to move his feet a little bit in the pocket and not just let him sit back there and because we've said it. I mean, they're really, really good at 7-on-7 in the summer because that's what they do. So we can't let this football game turn into a 7-on-7 game. We've got to get our other guys involved that aren't with us in 7-on-7, and that's our defensive front. So we've really got to get them involved in this game and putting some pressure on them.
Bring the physicality aspect that isn't in a 7-on-7 matchup. We've got to bring that to this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that's what our kids kind of believe in. We believe in a physical style of play, offensively and defensively, and we can't. I mean, they're very good at their finesse aspect, and then that's no criticism of what they do, but they play a little bit more of a finesse style of football, and they're very good at it. And we've got to bring a little bit more physical aspect to the ball game and overpower their finesse style of play.
Right.
And I agree with what they both just said. We'll have to stop the pass, certainly, but we can't, like the front seven, we can't fall asleep and expect to pass every play. Because they'll try and sneak up on us and gash us with the run.
That sounds like the secondary could be busy, and definitely going to have to keep an eye open out there.
That's right. I agree.
The Demons are 6-0 now. Congratulations on an undefeated season thus far. Coach, what are your thoughts on the Demons' record versus the record of some of the opponents in the district?
Right now, we're 6-0, but that really, nobody really cares about that 6-0 other than us, here at home. Our kids are taking pride in that, but currently we're 3-0 in district, and at this point in time, we're setting first in our district with the only undefeated, the only undefeated record in our district, followed closely behind a really good Canyon football team. Canyon's has one loss from Amarillo High. Amarillo High has one loss from Caprock.
Plainview has one.
Plainview has one loss from us. Where else are we at? Those would
It's the only one loss, Scott.
those are the one loss teams that we're looking at, and then you've got Paladuro, who is winless up until this point, and you've got Hereford, who's winless up until this point. So it's
Randall with one win.
and then Randall has one win. Randall's before those guys, so they have one win. So what everybody's kind of expecting right now is everybody's expecting everybody to kind of beat everybody in this district. I'm telling you, our district is as competitive of a district as there is in the state of Texas, and everybody in our district is so closely matched, and that's what everybody's kind of banking on. They're banking on everybody to beat everybody. If we take care of our business, if we'll continue to do our thing and play one game at a time and take care of our business, then we control our destiny. Everybody else is hoping on somebody else beating someone. I know that sounds it's kind of a tongue twister a little bit, but the Demons control their destiny. We play one game at a time. We've got Caprock on our schedule, and that's the only thing that we're really, really concerned at this point. We talked about every single game. There's been something on the line for our kids, and there's been some type of reward. This past game, we're going back, starting district off. We hadn't beat Randall in 7 or 8 years. What was it, Derek?
I've never beat
Derek's
Randall.
a senior, has never beat Randall in anything. And that was their first time to be able to beat Randall. So that was a huge accomplishment during that week. That was something that we were fighting for. Going into the next game, it was to start off District 2-0. And we had that opportunity, and we were able to take care of that. And then going into this Plainview game, there was another thing that we were trying to accomplish there, and that was to be, the first 6-0 football team in Dumas in 19 years. It dates 19 years ago. That was the first accomplishment. There's still something on the table this week, and that is to be a 7-0, 4-0 team in district. And what we kind of believe is if we'll take care of this game right here, we almost secure a playoff spot. We're pretty for sure that it will secure a playoff spot. So you got to, there's a lot on the table this week. I mean, it's a huge game for us, and every single week adds another reward, another accomplishment that these guys can do. But we can only do it one game at a time.
Right.
I think we got to continue to focus on that. We have with our kids, that this is a one season or every week. There's 10 seasons in this week, and we just need to play week by week by week. I mean, we can't look forward. We just need to control one game at a time.
Right.
So,
Coach, question I asked you last week was about the Demon's student body. Man, that section of the home stands gets crazy. So, Derek, now it's your turn, man. The student body, when they get up there and they get crazy and something crazy's going on, man, they get loud. How does that feed into the Demons players?
Oh, it just fires us up. It gives us energy, They're out there. They're out in the stands before we get out there for warm-ups, waiting for the game to start. Plus, on defense, it helps us. We might try and get the offense to jump off sides and send them back if it's 3rd and short, and I'll try and get them to jump by saying stem or something. When the fans are real loud and the offense can't really hear their quarterback, they'll think I'm their quarterback and they'll jump, and it helps us a lot.
Right, like in football, every advantage, it all helps.
without a doubt.
So I know that everyone is looking forward to a good game this Friday against Caprock. Like I said earlier, congratulations so far to an undefeated season. Hopefully we will keep that up throughout the rest of the season. And we expect to see everyone out there Friday night against Caprock. Home game time at 7:30. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, appreciate you having us.
Hey,
Thanks.
before we go, can we talk about one thing I think it'd be pretty neat?
Sure.
And it is recognizing old Derek Ditto, but he's also known as DDawg. And I think that that it's a pretty neat deal. A little bit on DDawg. I gotta have Derek explain to us where DDawg came from, because I know where I think it came from.
So that's on your Twitter, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I did see that on your Twitter. How did you come by DDawg?
Honestly, it came from my parents when I was a kid, and real young, my dad would mess around different rap music. He never listened to it, but he saw Snoop Dogg one time, and I joked around saying I was a OG or something, and he started calling me, instead of Snoop Dogg, he started calling me DDawg. Just kind of
We saw him one time, and we've always called him Derek. Derek Ditto's a pretty good football player name. It's a pretty good linebacker name, and we always called him Derek. And then he one day he came in this summer, wasn't it? And he had a shirt on the back of his shirt that said DDawg, and we were like, DDawg? Who's DDawg? Where'd that come from? And we thought, he's such a high character, good kid, and I thought he self-nicknamed himself DDawg to try to sound a little bit more gangster or tougher or something.
Intimidation, right?
Yes, we were thinking, man, you're tough enough. You don't have to go with like a rap name.
Right.
So it's pretty neat.
Awesome.